Why is the ministry concerned about content creators on social media that do not, you know, to be a content creator is a very simple thing. You can start cooking mukimo and start getting a camera and then share on TikTok, and that is it. Those are being people who are called content creators, Madam Speaker. The CS must do what we call default setting. Must sit and re-examine, Madam Speaker. Our sports is dying. And somebody is busy hosting content creators, digital content creators, TikTokers, that will not assist the country to move forward. Why shouldn't we invest, Madam Speaker? Madam Speaker, I saw the other day when athletes were coming back, the footballers and others, whenever they come back here, the only gift that the ministry gives them is the Masai Shuka. The award to gold winners, the silver, we are giving them less than $1 million. Here in Uganda, our elder of East Africa, Mzee M7 Museveni, our friend, is giving them a car, a house. I think somebody told me he's giving them a wife for those who are not married and a husband. Madam Speaker, you can imagine, and these are only they want to gold. And they were given head of state commendation, recognition, Madam Speaker. I've only asked some of these athletes should be given diplomatic passport so that they don't see this is the national treasure. These are national treasure, Senator Danson Mungatana. Why should these athletes and sportsmen, the likes of Olunga and the rest, or Manyala, be queuing like the rest of the people? Yet this is our national treasure. This is our brand. Madam Speaker, the sad thing when these people land, the Eliud Kipchoges of this world, the Omanyalas of this world, the Olungas of this world, the Olies of this world, Madam Speaker, when they land, they are given VIP treatment. But when they are in Kenya, when they win, Madam Speaker, in their winnings, when they win in Chicago, Boston, they are being taxed in America and you tax them in Kenya. How will you encourage the growth, Madam Speaker? While you go ahead and give exemptions of $370 billion to some people who are stealing from us. Madam Speaker, as a country, we must be serious in protecting the sports. If I can bet to tell you, Madam Speaker, if we protect sports, the issue of youth unemployment, Madam Speaker, everywhere from my county, when you wake up at 4 a.m., you drive through Nandils, through Kapsabet, through Eldoret, Madam Speaker, through Iten. We are not night runners. But at 4 a.m., our young men and women are running along the tarmac, chasing that, Madam Speaker. Only for somebody to mislead them to use doping or these substances that have been banned, Madam Speaker. We can increase and expand the opportunities for young people. If we protect, we need to create sports academies, Madam Speaker. The reason London, the English Premier League, Madam Speaker, the Premier League, it is about the money, the chases. They are making money from all angles, Madam Speaker, to wear a T-shirt, and that is why companies like Emirates, Etihad, are fighting over to sponsor some of these organizations. We used to have Sport Pesa before the former regime, Madam Speaker, and I have happened to have been the chair, and we investigated the issue of betting. And we agreed that you can bet, but betting should not be an addiction. Because you find in villages, young boys, Madam Speaker, were stealing eggs to go and steal, to go and bet, Madam Speaker. We can do, that is why the industry of sports is so huge and is so lucrative. I can bet that many billions of shillings in pounds that go to the London, because we watch DSTV, we pay for subscription, Madam Speaker, to watch Arsenal and Chelsea, Madam Speaker. And for the information of the House, Madam Speaker, I'm a fan of Chelsea. And we, not fan of Chelsea, but Arsenal. And you saw we are trashing the people, Madam Speaker. And we are on top of the table, not the local table that our colleagues want to tell us. Of course, we are on top of the table at the moment, Madam Speaker. So I am doing this even in Kenya Premier League, Madam Speaker. The English Premier League, the Champions League, even nowadays, Madam Speaker, in the Middle East here, where the likes of Olunga are playing, Dubai, the Far East, even the East, they are now moving towards sports business. That's why the owners of these famous football clubs, Madam Speaker, are now doing business of oil, like some of the guy who was the owner of Chelsea. I think he used to come from Russia. It was an oil mogul, Madam Speaker. So the industry of sports is so huge and so lucrative. We must guard it jealously, Madam Speaker. I've already said, why don't we use our athletes, our sportsmen and women, to do branding. Why should we give money to brand Kenya? Madam Speaker, why? If we can use, by the time Inos, Madam Speaker, a few years ago when Eliud Kipchoge was running, I'm told 6 billion people were watching across the world. Madam Speaker, at that time, I was on official trip of the Justice, Legal Affairs and Human Rights Committee. We were visiting Brumadinho to see the issue of disaster preparedness in Brazil at that time. And we had to watch at 1 a.m. in Rio de Janeiro, Madam Speaker. You can imagine, Madam Speaker, if Eliud Kipchoge were wearing a t-shirt saying, visit Kenya, hakuna matata. The way the president of Rwanda has done, visit Rwanda by ensuring that the Arsenal players wear the jersey that indicates visit Rwanda, Madam Speaker.